Greetings, fellow firefighters. This is Chief Chuck. Welcome to part 2 of the asset creation video series. In part 1, we created the asset in the General Information tab. Now we're going to proceed through the other tabs. We're going to look next at the Contact tab. This tab is not for emergency contact information. We'll be putting that in the fire pre-incident assessment when we come to it. What you can put here is a main phone number for the business. So 844-5566. You can enter that right there. You could also enter an email address for the organization, website address, etc., none of which is required. The geolocation tab is really important because sometimes it won't geo-validate correctly. So let's go back to the General Information tab. This one geo-validated, but we're going to put a different address, 123 Anywhere Street, specifically to confuse it. And when we try to geo-validate 123 Anywhere Street, and you'll notice the auto validate address box is always checked by default, we get a dialog box back that says the system attempted to auto-validate this asset's address but was unable to successfully validate the address. So that's fine. We'll click out of that. We're going to uncheck auto-validate address. It's currently processing, so we'll wait till it finishes that. Now we're going to uncheck that box. We're going to come over here to geolocation, and it's currently showing the last geo-validated address, which is on West Main Street. Let's say that this was actually in the heart of downtown. We can pan and zoom this map using these controls over on the left to exactly where we want to be. And let's say in this particular instance, regardless of what the address was, that we know that this location is right at the corner of Main and Stone Plaza here. Then we're just going to left click right there. Notice that dropped a pin. We now have a latitude and longitude for that dropped pin. And we're going to tell it to save right there. Notice up here in the top left-hand corner that it's spinning, so it's trying to think about this. It's geo-validating that address. And now it says, oh, okay, this particular spot is in 18-2 Station Responsibility Area, which is A shift this year. So it geo-validated it not on the address we gave it, but on the point we clicked on the map. So if you have a case where for some reason it won't geo-validate correctly based on the address, you can click on the map after unchecking this auto-validate address box and get it to validate correctly based on the latitude and longitude. The next tab is Site Description. Here I like to enter a brief one-sentence description of the building. For instance, we could say this is a 8-story apartment complex, or maybe a 8-story type 2 flat roofed apartment complex. Site details. You can enter as much information as you know. This is frequently left blank, and surrounding area is almost always left blank for our purposes. Once you've completed everything, hit save again. It's spinning up here, saving your latest changes to the system. And now notice it says last saved, giving you the current time. and you're all done. In the next video, we'll talk about how to create a pre-incident plan for this asset. But that concludes the creation of the asset.